Hi there, and welcome to my channel. My name's Phil. I wanted to start by introducing myself and letting you know that what you can expect from my channel. To start, I love movies. In fact, once upon a time, I kept a blog where I reviewed movies. Obviously, I don't watch as many movies today, but I still love them all the same. My love of movies dates to my earliest memories, waiting in line at the local theater with my father to watch the opening day of Star Wars. Those opening moments of the scroll where we first hear the backstory of Princess Leia and her efforts to get those plans from the Death Star drew me into many years, following into new worlds and exciting adventures and wonder. In fact, I loved movies so much that I entered into it as a career, first as an editor and later as a writer-director. And I love music. My love of music likely coincides with my discovery of movies. Sure, I'm sure that there were the nursery rhymes and the Ring Around the Rosies and other toddler-oriented tunes that intrigued me, but it was reaching that age where I knew what I was hearing that forever changed me. I fondly remember flipping through my father's vinyl collection and spending hours looking through the gatefolds or reading through the liner notes at such a young age, or being mesmerized by the unique covers. Billion Dollar Babies, Physical Graffiti, LA Woman, Look at Yourself, which I did for many hours, and Brain Salad Surgery. Wow. I remember it like it was yesterday. I also remember stacking my own records that my parents or grandparents had gotten me on our auto-loading turntable cabinet and just sitting back and listening to the antics of Pinocchio, flipping through the pages, reading the story, or being mesmerized by the frolicking of Bambi and friends. Don't judge. It was a magical, magical time for me. I didn't limit myself to records, in fact. I loved music so much that I would spend hours with the family tape recorder waiting for my favorite songs to play on the radio so that I could hit that play record button to capture the magic myself. Again, like it was only last Saturday. I remember using a pencil to rewind the cassette players, or the cassettes, to re-listen to a track repeatedly because our cassette player had broken the rewind and no longer did it for me. It wasn't until I was a bit older, however, when I spent my allowance money to get the records I wanted, that I sought out and bought with my own hard-earned cash. I got two that day. The first, man, such magic. Amazing to hold this in my hands as I listened to it. It was a wonderful moment. I still, in my mind's eye, can remember that day fondly. But it wasn't just this record. It was the other record that accompanied that purchase that forever changed me. Man, absolute magic. Magic in the artwork. Magic in the music. Yeah, I remember it. Remember it very well. But so much so that I soon found myself acquiring two more records. I couldn't wait. So I think I maybe even asked for a loan from my parents so that I could pick up two more. It was this album that got me into playing guitar, which I still do to this day. So amazing. But this wouldn't be on its own without a good old pop record. A pop record that, man, I must have recorded off the radio Girls on Film on that cassette to the point to where the cassette broke. Yeah, amazing. Now, these copies I purchased with my own allowance money are not my originals. Now, sadly, those, like so many of you watching, were soon replaced by CDs. In fact, as I grew, I amassed a massive CD collection. My vinyl collection long having been relegated to the used bin at some record store. My love of music would continue into adulthood. So much so that my very first professional thing was an internship with a rock station. Radio. I would spend hours with my buddy Mark at Amoeba, buying up as many music CDs as we could find. We'd look for the rares and the collections and the compilations and the box sets and pressings from other countries with the added tracks and amazing times. However, every time I was at Amoeba, I'd look back in the back corner and see the vinyl room. And it would whisper in my ear, get it, get a vinyl. But that other whisper, that lie that would say, nah, to do that is to do what you did with that Pioneer Laserdisc player. So I never jumped. Well, fast forward to last year, Thanksgiving. Black Friday's right around the corner. My family says, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Well, I knew because I had seen a record on the shelf on a new spinner rack. I couldn't believe that they were back in public, the general public. It was a record that the CD I listened to probably 2 times a week, hundreds of times a year. I knew that I had to have that record. So I said, I gotta have Alice in Chains Dirt. Well, obviously, I needed a record player to go with it. So they put me to work. I had to look, what's a good starter record player? Now, what I knew then and what I knew now is 2 totally different things. But going back to Thanksgiving, I got on Wirecutter and saw that they recommended an all-in-one, an Angel's Horn H019. And I'll tell you more about that in future videos. But that is where my current journey begins. I have followed many well-known VC content creators over the course of the last year, and they've helped me massively in pointing me in the right direction to acquire and reacquire some favorites, as well as learn about brand new music. I'm looking at you, Natalie Merchant. Keep your courage. I will own you someday and have you on my shelf. But I miss my blog. I miss doing reviews of my own. And that brings me to today. My friends were encouraging me. And my friends and my children convinced me. So, I want to pay it forward. I want to join in on this vinyl community of content creators. I hope that you will enjoy what I have to offer. And even more, I hope that you will subscribe and join me on my journey. I hope that you will learn, like I have this last year, that I did all those years ago, sitting there in front of the record player of my family's living room, flipping through the gatefold, reading the liner notes, and listening and realizing that there's magic in the grooves. I'll see you next time.